This video was designed to talk you through the preparation for the River Derwent flooding case study for your GCSE course. The information in red here can be seen on the ebook page at the front, and the rest of this talk is designed around using your ebook to construct your own notes. This circled area here is copied straight from the SEA guidance. It says that pupils must know the causes of the flood and the impacts of the flood. The causes of the flood have to be divided into two categories: number one, physical; number two, human. And the impacts of the flood have to be divided into two categories also: number one, people; and number two, environment. We'll see later on how this relates directly to the types of questions that we see, and you'll see how it also relates to the style of your notes that I recommend you take. So, first of all, the background information that we have on the River Derwent is that it flooded in March 1999 and that it is located in Yorkshire. Two basic pieces of information. Like I said already, the causes need to be divided into two categories, that is physical and human. In your GCSE ebook, the first cause is heavy rainfall. So heavy rainfall is definitely a physical cause of flooding. I have just put the sort of overall title here, but you need to be able to talk about the point, explain, expand using the dates of the 28th of February and 11th of March and the fact that over 250 millimetres of rain fell on the moors, causing excess surface runoff. Heavy rainfall causes the soil moisture to fill up, and basically the ground cannot take any more infiltration from the surface, and that causes flooding on the surface. The second cause of flooding that's mentioned here is the saturated ground. That relates to the first one in the fact that we have saturated ground. The rain continues to fall on ground which cannot take any additional infiltration, and again leads to excess surface runoff. The third factor is really the time of year, and you can see in the ebook that there was spring snowmelt. So snow had fallen over the winter period. As we moved into the springtime, the temperatures rose, and this caused the snow to melt, and again added to the precipitation that was falling as rain at this time. And again, this increased the discharge from the region, causing flooding. Cause number 4 in your book talks about peat removal. So even in Northern Ireland here, we remove peat to burn as a source of heat in houses. Peat was being extracted from the area in the drainage basin of the River Derwent. This lowered the ability of the soil to store water in the land. Basically, the peat acts like a sponge and absorbs a lot of moisture. Because that peat was removed, then that allowed for excess flooding to happen. So basically, peat removal by humans contributed to the flooding. Cause number 5 is the addition of new buildings in the area. Large areas of the floodplain were being urbanised. That means that buildings were being built on them. So surfaces which were once permeable, like grass or soil, were now covered by things like concrete, tarmac, houses. So obviously this reduces infiltration and increases surface runoff. The water, the precipitation cannot infiltrate through these impermeable surfaces like concrete, so it flows over the surface into drains and then into the rivers much quicker, and again that causes huge amounts of flooding. So you need to be able to categorise all the 5 causes into both physical and human. Second aspect that you guys need to know is the impacts. There are really only 3 impacts. The first one is that the floodwaters rose by 1.5 metres. So again, you need to know that figure. 2 main roads in the area and the rail line were closed, and this led to travel disruption. So the fact that this impacted on travel disruption is an impact on people. Second one, or impact 2, is that 198 homes were flooded. So again, that's clearly an impact on people. This meant people lost their personal possessions, and the cost to repair homes and belongings was huge. Third impact is that the agricultural land was flooded, animals were killed and crops were destroyed, and this proved a huge cost for farmers to recoup. Again, I'm putting this under environmental, but equally this is under people as well, because it proved a huge cost for farmers. If we come across and have a look at this example question, you can see this in your ebook with all 3 levels of the CM mark scheme and an example answer at the end. With reference to the question, you can see here that it talks about with reference to a river in the British Isles. So obviously the first thing that we want to say in our answer is that we are talking about the River Derwent. So I would put in some sort of introductory sentence to say that the river I have studied is the River Derwent. It flooded in March 1999 and can be found in Yorkshire. So that sort of statement plus introductory or background information, just one sentence. Next part of the question is explain. So the command word is explain. That means you've got to give reasons. It's further categorised into physical reasons and human reasons, which are the causes of flooding on your named river. If I was putting together this answer, I would simply take a subtitle physical, and then I would select one of the physical causes of flooding that we talked about earlier on. Any of the 3 are acceptable, so it could be heavy rainfall, it could be the saturated ground, it could be time of year. The one that I would like to select is heavy rainfall. So I would put in the statement, which is point, explain, expand. Heavy rainfall fell between the 28th of February and the 11th of March, full stop. Over 250 millimetres fell in the North York Moors, causing excess surface runoff. I then would take a second subtitle, human, and again you must select one of the 2 human causes of flooding in this area. Again, I'm probably going to select new buildings. So again, I would put in the point, explain, expand statement from the ebook. So I would say new buildings were built on the floodplain, as large parts of the floodplain were urbanised, for example in Malton, and this reduces infiltration and increases surface runoff. If we come up and have a look at the level 3 mark scheme here, 6 to 7 marks, the causes of flooding are described, which we have done with regards to physical and human. There's detail, so we've got our point, explain and expand explanations in there, and for the full 7 marks, 2 facts or figures must be included. So I mentioned the example of Malton under the human explanation, and I mentioned the dates and the fact that 250 millimetres of heavy rainfall fell under the physical answer. So 2 facts or figures relating to the river within the British Isles gives us a level 3, 7 out of 7 answer.